Hey, it's day two. It's the second part of my Kibble Enhancer with the pot roast. Now, I showed you yesterday that I had taken a pot roast and put it into the crock pot, and I set it for 10 hours yesterday. And when that 10 hours was up, I went ahead and I set it again at 10 hours. So it's been just about 20 hours now, and I'm sure it's ready for me to divvy up for me and my dog. So hang out with me for a second. Let's do this, and I'll show you what fun stuff we can do with our pork roast and our broth and our bones. All right, hang on. So let's take a look at this beauty. Set this aside. See what we got here. Look at this. My spoon goes right through, able to break this up. Yummy. Oh my gosh. Ooh, that's hot. This is a really nice fatty piece. Oh, it's hot. Oh, hot. Oh my gosh. What's better than pig fat? I don't know. Man, oh man. This is what dreams are made out of. This beautiful pork roast. Very lightly spiced, very lightly seasoned with sea salt, and then cooked for 20 hours. It's just falling apart. Oh my gosh, I could completely pig out. Oh, satisfied. All right, let's divvy this up. So what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to separate the meat from the broth and the bone from the broth. Divvy it up for me and my dogs. The dogs will get a little bit more than I will. I will grab the tongs and put some of this in a bowl here. Snag up a bunch of this just for me. Do a little, about a third for me. That ought to do me right there for a couple days. I really want to get stingy. It tastes so good. And all right, that'll be daddy's. And then the kids will get this. There's that bone, which I'm going to leave in here. There we go. Get all the meat off the bone. And put the rest of this in for the kids. Yeah. All right, so what's in there now? I'm going to leave, well, actually I'm going to take a good portion of this broth. Just going to take a cup and siphon off the broth. Leave as much of the meat as I can in there, and any chunks of fat. Now this is going to be for me. I want to fill this container up because I am stingy because I love this. Okay. Now, ooh-wee, that's hot. Let me see what else I've got in here. All right, so I've got a nice fatty chunk. I've got this bone. I've got some other meat in here. And now I'm going to go ahead and add more water to this right now. And just pour that water in here. All right. Now that I've filled this back up, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more fat in the way of butter. Just drop that baby in there. And I'm going to go ahead and let this crock pot sit for another 4 to 6 hours. It'll be about 6 hours before I feed my dogs again. And so I'll be able to pull off some of that broth, and then I'll let it cook some more. And what I've just done is I've just extended my broth, because definitely the dogs are going to need more than I. And I'm going to show you just what I do with that broth after it's sat in there with that big old bone, some more of that meat, and the extra fat from the butter. And then I'll show you what I do with the broth. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the broth that I took away for myself. So I got two things I'm going to do. Hang on with me and I'll show you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do with my little portion of the broth is I'm going to fill this coffee cup with broth. So this is a cup of just the pure broth that came straight out of the crock pot. And I'm going to do one other thing with it, is I am going to add some collagen peptides to that cup. One scoop. Now I use a couple different types of collagen, a couple different brands. I use the hydrolysate collagen because it will emulsify quickly in a cup of hot broth. So just by stirring it in. Ooh, that is still really hot. Oh my gosh. Even though it's been out for a little bit. Whoa, spilling like a jerk. Okay. Ooh, I'll stir that up a little bit more before I drink it. But I use collagen every day when I drink my coffee. I'll show you what I use here while that cools off. I use the Great Lakes gelatin here. This brand right here, I don't get any money for me telling you what I use. I just want to show you what I use. And I get that on Amazon, of course. And then I also use this Sports Research brand of collagen peptides. This is type 1 and type 3 collagen. So there's different types of collagen depending on the source from what it comes from. It could be from fish, it could be from cows, it could be from pigs, it could be from chickens. And what is collagen good for? Well, it's good for our hair, our skin, our fingernails, the growth of our cartilage, our ligaments, all the connecting tissue. And it's just something that over time, as we grow older, we tend to deplete that collagen stores that we have, and that's what causes a lot of wrinkles in our face and things like the turkey neck I've got there. So drinking collagen in a hot liquid, or getting a liquid collagen and drinking it or putting it into another beverage is a great way to get collagen. Why do we not have collagen? It's typically because we don't live with our great-great-grandma anymore. And that was the days when they had cooked the whole ham hock, the whole bone and all, cooked the whole turkey carcass and all, boil that carcass after the turkey's been eaten, or boil the carcass after the chicken basically been cleaned off the bone, and that's where we would get our bone broth and that collagen. Perfect. I thought I was going to have to probably add some salt to it, but I must have added just the exact amount to taste. It's really good. It's smooth and creamy. It's got good fat. Now, my body runs primarily off of fat. I don't eat carbohydrates for the most part. I eat about 1,000 grams, maybe 1,500 grams of carbohydrates per week, per 7-day period. And I only really get that in three basic forms, maybe. Let's see, I do potatoes a couple times a week, a small amount. And sometimes I'll twice cook those potatoes. It lowers the glycemic index, and so it doesn't give us a sugar rush. So potatoes. I also do corn chips. I really love corn chips, especially when I eat like tuna fish or something like that. I love eating it. I take ground beef and lightly cook it, leave it kind of rare, and I'll scoop it up also with corn chips. I'm going to make something in just a moment with some corn chips just to show you what else to do with this broth. Then I also eat honey. That's a good source of carbohydrates. I do about a tablespoon per day on average. And then when it's accessible to me, I'll have whole organic cream on top milk. You know, not the fake stuff. Not the stuff that's got BHT and vitamin D and all these other chemicals put inside the milk. Just real whole organic milk. So those are my primary sources of carbohydrates. So my body lives off of fat and not sugar. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat grains of any kind. Well, except for the corn, which I just talked to you about. So this is absolutely delicious, and adding the collagen to it, you can't tell, it's totally tasteless, but then it's just, once again, good for our skin, our hair, our nails. It's almost a meal. And so let's go on to the next thing. The next thing I'm going to do, I might freak you out a little bit, just what I'm up to. But if you love tortilla soup, I love tortilla soup. I'm really restricted on a lot of the foods I eat, so I'm going to make my own silly version of tortilla soup, and it's only going to take a few moments. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pull out my favorite tool in the kitchen. That is the blender. So what's going in this blender? Well, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to pour in some of this bone broth. I am not getting all recipe-fied on you. I'm just ad-libbing the whole way. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Now, this is just the kind of fun stuff that I can do for myself in the kitchen while at the same time preparing something for my dogs. And so I'm going to grab a big old fatty piece of this. Look at this. Look at this. It's beautiful. I'm going to put that in there. And then watch what's next. You're going to laugh. I love corn chips. This is my favorite brand, in spite of the fact that they do use canola oil. Ew. But it's so hard to find a better oil. And organic chips don't have organic oils. So it's like, all right. This is where I compromise my health right here, is because it's made with vegetable oil, corn oil, and or canola or sunflower oil. They don't know which, but it's going to be canola. Anyway, so I eat these typically with my tuna fish. And so what happens is you get to the bottom of the bag and they're all crumbs. And so I've got bag after bag of just crumbs, and I need to do something with them. Often I'm just going to crumble them up, throw them outside to the ravens or any other birds. But in this case, I'm going to make me the pole man bachelor style tortilla soup. So watch this. So what does that mean? That means I'm just going to pour all these crumbs right in here. Yep, just pour those in there. I'm going to do one more just to get them gone. There we go. And then, the next secret ingredient, my favorite Mexican girl, Miss Cholula. I'm going to put a few dabs of her in there. And then, a dollop. I don't know really how much is in a dollop. Let's make this a dollop of sour cream. I love sour cream. Nice and fatty for me. All right. And then, dum-da-da-dum. I'm going to pop the top on that blender. I'm going to put this put away. Here we go. So all we do is pour that soup right in there. It's probably nothing like what you expected it to look like. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to be delicious. All right, well, let's do the taste test. I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. It tastes just like tortilla soup, at least a nice creamy one. Anyway. Yeah. So that was simple. All right, so now let's take a look at what this crock pot looks like inside after now adding that water, leaving some meat and that bone in. Let's take a look at it. It's been a few hours and I'm getting ready to feed these dogs that are staring at me. So let's take a look inside this crock pot. Got there's that bone. Still a little bit warm, but let's take a look. See, look at that. And all that bone marrow in there. Look at all that. So this bone has gotten super soft. And I'm going to go ahead and put this inside the blender. Just drop that in there. And then going to begin to scoop out some of this. Got some nice meat in there. Take a chunk of meat, put it in there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and replace the lid and put my attention back on the blender there. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of this collagen. Only got a little bit left in the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and give those guys half of that. Then I'm simply going to add some more water. And put it in the blender to just a little bit more than half, because I know that's what it takes to fill all 5 dog dishes. So I'm going to kick on this blender. While it's going, and it's pretty noisy, I dropped that piece of bone in there. Now this blender is going to grind it to smithereens. There'll be no trace of this bone except for within the soup, essentially, that I'm pouring on top of the dog's food. So it'll be completely pulverized and emulsified inside the blender. So I think that ought to do it. Now it's kind of a foamy deliciousness. So there we go. And just get that stirred up. Only thing left to do is to call my kids' names. Speck and Brat. Go ahead. Val and Vaughn. Well, there we go. Definitely canine approved. It's just another way to extend the kibble. That's why I call it my Kibble Enhancer. It just gives it a little bit more protein, more digestible foods than the kibble will ever have. Make it go a little bit farther while we're in quarantine and while we have a shortage now in our stores of our dog food. So it's just something fun that you and your dog can enjoy together. And of course, something you and your dog can enjoy separately. So, hey, thanks for hanging out with me in Wolf Daddy's Kitchen. And please remember, if you like any of this stuff, share. Be sure to hit the subscribe button there. Where is it? It's somewhere down here. Give it the thumbs up. Just participate with me. Hang out with me. Thank you so much. And give me some comments down below. What would you do to help extend your kibble and still get your dog's tummies full? And so share with me in the comments down below. So remember, collagen is good for our skin. It's good for our fingernails, our hair, and all those connecting things like tendons and ligaments and cartilage and that sort of thing. So enjoy yourself, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your quarantine and your lockdown. Do something fun with your pet. And until next time, Wolf Daddy signing off. Amongst all this cleaning of, you hear all that scraping sound. I'm sure you're familiar with that. That's the doggies cleaning out the last bit in the bottom of the bowls as it slides on the tile. Hey, thank you, everybody. Have a great day.